Have you ever wondered how to share your faith and show God in your work as a creator without necessarily being a Christian creator? In this video, I'm going to dive deep into the different ways that I share my faith and show God in my creative work, and how you can do same in the creative space, no matter what niche you're in. So whether you're a food creator, you're a lifestyle creator, a family creator, whatever niche you're in as a creator, these tips will be helpful, and so this video is for you. Now, something I am learning on my walk, on this journey with God, is that glorifying God isn't just about what you say, but it's also about, what you do and how you show up in the different areas of your life, and that includes in your role as a content creator. Now, for me, for every project, every campaign that I work with, every client that I work with, I want them to, at the end of the day, sit back and be happy that they worked with me. So I want to shine God's light. I want to show God's characters in the different ways that I work with people. Now, the first way that I show God's character, or the first character of God that I like to show through my work, is diligence and excellence. Now, a quick Google search says diligence is careful and persistent work or effort, and then excellence is the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. And all through the Bible, right, you see this, play out in different ways. The very first way, in fact, is in the creation story, right? So when God was creating the earth, he went through different days. At every point in time, or at the end of his daily work, right, he would, sit back and look at what he has done, analyze everything, say that, yeah, this is good, and then he wraps up the work for the day, moves into the next day, does all that he needs to do, sits back to analyze, determines that it's good, and on till he finished creating the earth, created man, created, woman, and all of life started. In different stories in the Bible, we also see examples of people that were excellent at what they did and diligent, and God loved them. In fact, in the book of Proverbs, in Proverbs 10 verse 4, it says, "He who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the diligent makes rich." And in Proverbs 13:4, it says, "The soul of a lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich." So clearly, there's a reward for diligence and excellence even in the Bible. And so I like to show those characters of God, through my work. And so what ways do I show this? One is in making sure that I meet timelines and I deliver on agreed deliverables, right? So if I've taken on a campaign or a project and I'm supposed to deliver in 2 weeks, then I'm trying my possible best to deliver in 2 weeks. I was hearing a sound behind me and I was wondering what was going on. I try my best to deliver in 2 weeks. And in cases where, because I'm a human being and sometimes things are beyond my control, I can't meet up with the 2 weeks timeline or deadline, I reach out to, whoever it is that I promised to deliver stuff to in 2 weeks, just to explain what's going on and maybe agree on another timeline or deadline. And this has happened like literally to me, I think last year or last 2 years. So I was working with a client in the breast pump business. I was supposed to film content with my baby, my first child at that time. However, unfortunately, the week that I was supposed to film, she fell ill. So we had to bring her to the hospital. And, because she was a baby and she was unwell, it was making her cranky and fussy. And so I couldn't film. And I knew because I couldn't film that week, I wouldn't be able to meet the deadline. So what did I do? I immediately reached out to her and let her know that I'm sorry I wouldn't be able to meet the deadline, and I explained, and we agreed on another timeline or deadline. Other ways that I try to show excellence in my work is by constantly trying to improve on my craft, right? So that is trying to figure out how to edit my videos better. For instance, my YouTube video, I'm constantly looking for how to improve the lighting in my video. So I've got like an additional light. I'm watching videos on light placement to ensure that my videos are well lit. I'm making sure that I'm using the best microphone that I can at my stage and my level, so that the sound is crisp. And so that anyone who watches this video, for instance, this video is supposed to be maybe some sort of ministration to someone, right? But it will make no sense and it will not serve the purpose My toddler is crying outside, so hopefully you can't hear that in this video. I'm not sure why her nanny is not holding her. So it will make no sense for it to not serve its purpose if whoever this video is meant for sees the video and maybe the visual is so poor the person can't concentrate, or the audio is so terrible the person doesn't want to watch it anymore and clicks away from the video. So if I want to show excellence in my work in this YouTube video, then I'm ensuring that my lighting is good, my sound is good, everything is okay. When I'm editing the video, I'm editing it wow, I'm editing it as best as I can so that it is engaging for whoever is going to watch it. Now, the second way that I show God's character, in my work as a creator is in being authentic and making sure that my integrity comes first. Let me just be very honest. In doing this, I have lost some revenue. It's not a fun thing to say because as a creator, you always want to get that check coming in and you want your accounts to be building up and you want to see the money coming in and all of that and work with as much brands as possible. However, on this walk with God, I have realized that there are some values, that I hold dear. And if a campaign, for instance, would not align with those values, and I'm not going to take on the job. Very typical examples. I have nice looking skin, and by the grace of God, it has always been like this. So meaning I have never enhanced my skin with either like specific products or anything. I do not have a specific skincare routine. I literally just have my bath and come out. Sometimes I do not even moisturize. I'm walking around looking ashy. I'm not saying you should do that, right? But what I'm saying is that I don't have any skincare routine. I'm not even loyal to any specific product. I can use this soap today and use this one tomorrow. Now, because of that, naturally skincare brands will be drawn to me, okay? And I remember there was a phase and there was a time where 90% of the emails in my inbox were from skincare brands, requesting to work with me, requesting to send their products for me to post, and all of that. Now, at the time when those emails were coming in, I was pregnant with my first child, and I knew that I did not want to start experimenting with skincare products because if when you're pregnant, you need to be careful with things that, you do with your body, both internally and externally. And skincare products are usually a very important part of all of that, right? I didn't want to start trying out new products that I had never used before while I was pregnant. And so I said I was not going to work with, any of such brands, right? Now, if I wasn't intentional about doing that, then I could have just taken those jobs, right? And I'll post about it. Now, I do not even necessarily have to say I use this product and because of that, I have this sort of skin. But because of the way my skin looks, and the fact that my audience, a lot of times, when I post on my Insta story, when I post on my feed, comments, people are saying, what's your skincare routine? Please share your skincare routine. And I'm constantly saying, I do not have a skincare routine, right? I also have built my audience to the point that they trust my recommendations on products and services because over time, when I use a product and I enjoy it, I post about it organically, even before I started getting paid by brands. If I use the service and I enjoy it, I post about it, so they have become used to that. And so they have trusted my recommendations so far. So it just makes sense that when I post something, even without saying that if you use this, you get this skin, or because I use this, I have gotten this sort of skin, that subliminal message is there. And so it will be deceitful, if I do not try out a product and I just post about it and, let people assume or believe that this is a secret behind my beautiful looking skin. And so I had to turn down those jobs. However, now if I decide to work with a skincare brand, right, I would make sure that I actually use it. I would never, by the grace of God, I hope I can continue to do that with my platforms, but I would never promote a product or a service that I have either not used or do not see myself using. So all that is to say that I try to be as authentic as I can with the content that I share on my platforms so that my audience are getting the best out of whatever I share at all times. Now, something else I'm also doing is being mindful with my content. So in different ways. So how I dress, right? The words that I use when I'm either typing or talking in the video, in my captions, on my Insta story, in my YouTube videos, whatever, and also in the sort of music that I have playing in my videos. Now, editing a video on its own is cumbersome, but you know the part that takes me the most time whenever I'm editing any video, whether it's an Instagram reel or a YouTube video, no matter how short or long it is, it's usually in choosing the music, right? Now, I'm going to be very honest, I still struggle with this very well. Very, very well. There are a lot of songs that I hear and the rhythm is, oh my goodness, so good, and I can move my body and I feel like this is the perfect song for the video that I'm trying to create. But then I listen to the lyrics and I'm like, yeah, probably not. Nah, I can't use this song. It pains me a lot sometimes. Sometimes it can take me hours just trying to find the perfect song for a video, simply because I'm being very mindful of the lyrics of the songs that I'm choosing. Now, sometimes I feel like this, I'm still a work in progress, but most of the time, majority of the time, I'm listening to the lyrics to be sure of what is being said in the songs that I use, whether they are secular songs or whatever it is. With how I dress as well, I'm careful about what I wear so that I'm not exposing myself, and showing like a lot of skin. This is a personal preference. I'm not telling you what to do, right? In fact, I'm a huge advocate of having a personal relationship with God, because that way you're able to know what works, in your relationship with God and what steps you want to take. Modesty looks like different things to different people. And even when it's not my own piece of content, even when I'm sharing content, maybe sharing things that I see on my Insta story, I'm also, a lot of times being very mindful of the sort of content that I share generally. So just generally being very careful about the sort of content that I share, whether it's my own content or content from other people that I find maybe either inspiring or entertaining or funny or relaxing or whatever. Now, something else that I try to do is to deliver value at all times. This one has recently, now it has always been important to me, but recently it has been very, very important, like top of my mind for my role or in my role as a content creator. In fact, some weeks ago, I was praying to God about my content creation business. I hope this microphone is staying well. I was praying to God about my content creation business, and my prayer was that every person, every client or brand or business that decides to work with me will get so much value from working with me that they would thank God for working with me and would be happy to work with me over and over, and would also be happy to recommend me to other brands or businesses, right? I don't want to be the only person to benefit from a collaboration or a partnership. I also want the brand or the client or the business to benefit hugely and greatly, because a lot of money is usually spent, right? I know, yes, both parties are benefiting from a collaboration, or both parties should benefit from a collaboration or a partnership, but I usually want the brand to benefit so much, right? Because in my head, that's the only way, I'll keep getting an influx of jobs, right? If I deliver poorly, if I'm not delivering value, then a client or the brand is not happy working with me. They may never come back and they may never recommend me to anybody. But if I'm offering value at every point, of the interaction that they have with me, then they're happy working with me and happy to recommend me to other people. I try to offer value at different points, like I said, in my content creation process or journey with every client that I take on. Not just content creation, but since I'm talking about content creation in here, with every content creation client or brand that I take on. For instance, right from when you reach out to me or a brand reaches out to me, I'm making sure that my process is straightforward and, is organized. So it's easy for the onboarding process in quote is easy for any client. When we finally start the campaign, I'm making sure that I'm delivering high quality content, whether it's pictures or videos, even when it's not paid collaboration. So if it's PR and I have decided that I want to post the product, for instance, I would not say because I was not paid for the content, I would, take a shabby picture or record a video that is so low quality, that people can tell, or the brand can say, oh, is it because we did not pay her for this that she's doing this sort of video? No. From the moment I have decided to post, right, to create content for a brand, whether it was a barter collaboration, a paid collaboration, or PR, I try to deliver high quality content as much as possible. Now, even after the campaign, another way I also try to offer value is by sending like a campaign report, even without waiting for the brand to ask me for it. So recently, some weeks, I think about 2 weeks after a campaign has ended, I would send a campaign report just to show the brand how the content performed, whether I performed good or performed badly. Because again, sometimes in some of these things, they are beyond our control, right? But I will always share a campaign report because one, it means I'm transparent about my process, and like I said, I want the brand to see the value that they have gotten from working with me. Now, there are two categories of people, of content creators. So you have those who genuinely love creating content, right? So they've always maybe loved writing articles, writing blog posts, creating videos, taking pictures, and generally sharing about their life or things that they love on social media. And then realize that, oh, I can actually get paid for this, maybe because brands are reaching out to them for sponsorships or partnerships or collaborations. And have now decided to make it a business. And then you have the category of content creators who have seen other content creators and seen the perks that they enjoy, maybe, complimentary stays in hotels and flights to places, invites to exclusive events, free products, complimentary services, and they want to get those free things or perks of being a content creator, and then they now become content creators themselves. Whatever category you fall in, it's important to offer value to whoever you're working with. So at all times, I try to deliver value. And if you're trying to glorify God through your content and you're trying to figure out how to do that, then offering value at all times is a very good way to do that. The fifth way that I glorify God through my content is by literally sharing God with my audience, right? And people do this in different ways. So some people are song ministers, some people, preach on their platforms, some people write maybe a Bible verse in their Instagram captions, some people share daily reflections on their Insta story, for instance. For the last 1 year, I think, the footnote on my end screen usually has a scripture of the week or scripture of the day, right? That's the way I've been, trying to share God with my audience here on YouTube. On Instagram, on occasions, I would post something on my feed. Most times it's through my Insta story, right? Maybe I'm sharing like the reflection for the day, prayer for the day, scripture for the day. Some other times I'm sharing like my praise playlist, my worship playlist for anyone who is trying to build their song collections for praise and for worship and all of that. So these are the different ways that I'm currently sharing God, and this can look different for different people. I'm an advocate for having a personal relationship with God, because when you do, you can go to God and ask him how he wants you to share him with the world, right? And then you now start your own path with God. Recently, I have been feeling like what I'm doing is not enough and I want to do more, but because I do not know how to go about it, I am going back to ask God to show me and help me to every day shine his light through my work as a content creator, right? So do not feel... Hold on. My baby is crying. Okay, I'm back. So I was saying that lately I've been feeling like, what I'm doing is not enough. So I have, been praying and asking God to, help me to shine his light, in my everyday life and in how I show up as a content creator. So, hopefully I can figure out other ways that I can do that. Like I said, do not be afraid to go back to God to ask for direction. Even in the Bible, right? There have been instances, or what I have learned from reading and studying the Bible is that a lot of times when God wants you to do something, he tells you how to do it, right? If only you ask. Very quick examples that come to mind. When Moses was asked to build the tabernacle when they were in the desert, when the Israelites were in the desert, okay, God gave specific instructions, on materials to use, actual specific measurements on, how to build certain things and do certain things, instructions on who to stay where, instructions on, placement of things and people and all of that. Very, very fine details. Right. For the story of Noah and the ark as well, when God told Noah to build the ark, God also gave specific directions on how to, how big to build it, who to let in, what animals to let in and all of that. So if you've been given direction, if you've been given instruction on something to do and it's not quite clear how to go about it, then do not be afraid to go back to God to ask for direction or for insight. Because oftentimes, and this happens a lot to me, when we get instructions to do stuff, right, I would just set out and do it. And then when it fails, I'll not start coming back, to ask God for direction on how to do so. Meanwhile, it should be the other way around. When I've gotten instruction on something to do, I ask for direction before I now go ahead to start doing it. Now, in your pursuit of excellence, right, and your pursuit of success, it's important not to lose sight of the most important part of being a Christian and of being a child of God, which is your personal walk with God, right? So, and this will look like different things in your different seasons of your life, right? But it's important to keep making those daily movements and not allowing a vacuum, right? I'm speaking from personal experience. Now, when I newly got married and before I had my first baby, right, I used to stay up every night or every morning from 12 a.m. to like 2, 3 a.m. every day, spending time with God. So I'll start with like praise and worship, and I'll move into reading the Bible or listening to the Bible, and then I would pray, and then I'll go to bed. Rinse and repeat, every time, every day for some months. Then I got pregnant and I had my baby, and it was difficult to do that because I would spend the whole day taking care of myself, taking care of the baby, taking care of my husband and the home. And then by that 12 a.m. age time, I'm exhausted and probably wiped out, and I'm sleeping, and I couldn't do that, spend that time again with God. So what I did was I started making adjustments. Okay, since I can't spend this time again with God, what can I do throughout the day to make sure that I am, having that time with God? So what I started doing was, when I'm giving my baby a bath, right, my first daughter, bless you, baby. When I'm giving her a bath, I would, be singing or playing worship songs from my phone in the bathroom and praying while I'm breastfeeding her, just incorporating, those little times, pockets of times with God into my day, into different times or activities of the day. As she got older, I got a bit more independent. I started getting my time back, and so I could go back to doing those 12 a.m. to 2, 3 a.m. sessions. And then got pregnant again, had a baby now, and it's been difficult doing that again, So you can see I've been having different seasons, and so it's spending time with God has been looking different, in the different seasons. But it's better than having a vacuum, because there's a time where I'm not sure what happened, right? Of course, I'm human. Like I said, I'm still a work in progress. But I stayed away, I allowed myself become so tired that even saying my daily prayers was a challenge. And you know what happened? There was such a huge vacuum that I had to start again when it came to certain things. So for instance, the Bible study that I used to do before, I had progressed well into the Bible, but now I'm starting again, right? Because I feel like I lost the momentum. I can't remember some of the things that I read and I understood. And so I need to start afresh, and keep that momentum going. So from personal experience, my personal advice to you would be, no matter how busy you are, yes, I have said spending time with God would look different in the different seasons of your life, but do not let, a vacuum to occur, no matter how busy or stressful that particular season in your life is. It's also important to make sure that you are studying the word in, whatever way that looks like for you. Okay, this is the Bible that I have. I'm not asking you to buy this Bible. I'm just showing you the Bible that I have. There are a lot of Bibles that people, get devotionals and all, but this is the Bible that I have. Okay, this Bible was gifted to me by a friend. Isaac, funny enough, is the first person that noticed that I had a special relationship with God that needed nurturing. I wasn't even aware that I had that relationship with God, but he was the first person to notice it. And so he bought a Bible for me years ago that I never used, and only started using, I think, last year or last 2 years. I used this Bible to study. I used to listen to the Bible on my phone, right? But I noticed that that age was putting me to sleep so quick. And so now that I have started afresh, I have started with a hard cover or hard copy Bible. It's only because I'm studying the Bible that I can, draw examples to buttress my points in this video. So, and it also comes in very handy when you're trying to pray. Also, I'm discovering that the Bible really is a life manual, right? There is nothing that you can't apply from the Bible in your daily life, like nothing, right? It holds every life lesson that you can think of. It's a very important book to read. Okay, if you've never gotten into reading the Bible, maybe you want to start now. So today I encourage you to seek God's guidance in your creative process. If you've not started your personal journey with God, I hope this video inspires you to do so. And if you ever have questions on how to go about, shining God's light or glorifying God through your content, please do not feel afraid, or reluctant to go to God for guidance. He's, in my personal experience, he's always happy to guide, and I'm sure he would be happy to guide you on your journey with him. I hope this video blessed you, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe, stay fabulous, stay blessed. Goodbye.